The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, yes, call in 4 minutes, Thomas. Tom Hugard will be our guest in just a few minutes, just as soon as he calls in, and we'll be happy to talk to him. I posted the charts for the what are we going to, let's make sure I answer him here, for the DAX and also for the FTSE. You can see that FTSE went down and cleaned out all those stops, and it's got a chance to reverse here. So I don't trade that, but gee, that's one that looks real interesting to get moving, but we'll have to wait to see if it's going to do that. You certainly don't want it to make new lows now, but it goes down there, makes all those ABCDs and cleans out all those stops at 1.27. So that's a really strong support in the FTSE. In fact, boys and girls, if you were looking at these things here at the longer-term picture in the S&P, this is really not a bearish picture, folks. Let's just get up here and take a look at it. You'll see here that we went up to that 78% level at 35.04. The high was 35.12, I believe. And look where we've gone in the last 10 days. We haven't come down hardly at all. I mean, that is not bearish, boys and girls. I hate to tell you if you're bearish, but maybe it'll turn bearish, but it doesn't look bearish right now. So, and I tend to favor the bear side because it's a lot faster, and it makes it a little bit easier sometimes when you got these up. I'm going to post a chart here that Tom posted in his Telegraph room today, and just to show you how he looks at the market from a technical basis. He really breaks it down so that you can see how he looks at the bars to see where the support and resistance are, and he watches for higher lows. And basically what he's looking for is to catch one of these moves where you don't have to risk very much and make a lot. And that's what it's all about. You just got to try to, make more money than you lose, and that'll get you on the right side of the market. But if you take big losses, folks, you're just never gonna make it. You gotta eat like a bird and poop like an elephant. That's what you have to do. So you just have to practice doing that until you get it right. That's what the patterns are there for, to really be able to see it. Yes, he had $1,000 points in the Dow here the last couple of days, I believe, Ruby. I think it's even more than 600 because I was chatting with Tom about that, and so hopefully when he calls in, we'll get an idea of what he's looking at in the markets. But he watches both sides of the market. He trades very actively, as you know, and he takes his losses quickly and lets his profits run, just like it says in the books. And that's a lot easier said than done, as they say in the old commodity trading manual that you have to read before you ever get started. Most of you have never read that because they're not available anymore. Everything's on the internet, free and unabated. So we'll see. Okay, I get a lot of news, usual stuff from the press, and whether that happens or not, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I'm going to refer any comments that I have because I really have no idea what's going on. All I know here in Tucson, the early lines here for voting are just they've never seen anything like this. They're well over an hour just to get to vote. And back in 2016, it was very quick. In 2018, it was very quick, but not this year. This year, there's a lot of people voting. So like they say, vote early and vote often. So you can't do that here in Tucson, Arizona, and also in all of Arizona, because you have to show your ID in order to vote. And it has to be a picture ID, too. So they've sort of done that. Yes, you can vote by mail. You can vote by mail easily, Duffy. Hey, we've got Mr. Tom, Trader Tom, on the line in the house. Tom Hugard, how are you this morning, my friend?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. Thanks for the invitation.
Oh, listen, we'd love to have you. They've been bugging me for 2 weeks to get you on here. Tom, we've got an election coming up here in the United States, if you've had any idea about that lately. But how is it viewed over there in the UK as far as what we're doing over here with all the baloney that's going on? Do they say anything in the news, or do you even look at the news? I don't think you do you?
Oh, well, look, I'm smiling a little bit to myself because when Donald Trump is involved, you can't help but, perceive it an even mix of, of a gossip magazine and serious political correctness. Yeah. So, we are very much paying attention because we believe that it's also going to shape maybe not just the political landscape, but also the human landscape for the next 4 years. And I think there's many people that I'm speaking outside of America. I think there's many people who have an equal measure of despiseness towards Donald Trump, but also admiration for creating a landscape for businesses to thrive, but also perhaps a rather respectless way of perceiving people that he may or may not agree with. And I think there's many people who would perhaps like, and I'm speaking perhaps also for myself here, that would perhaps have a more moderate tone towards other human beings rather than alienating segments of the population. So, I don't expect politicians to be decent, and it's frankly also outside of my mandate. I'm a trader. I'm a day trader. I'm not known for having a political opinion. But I will tell you this. Any day trader worth their pinch of salt will remember November 2016 and what happened. I was trading through the night, and the Dow fell some 1,500 points when all of a sudden the votes, the opinion polls swung from Hillary to Donald Trump. And then his fire speech early in the morning, and the Dow rallying more or less 2,000 points in a straight line, and that set in motion the move from about 16,000 and Dow up to 28,000. I don't think anyone will ever forget that. So I'm trying to keep a lot of my powder dry because I think predicting where we're headed right now is going to be a futile game when you have such a political event looming in the horizon. So it's very much a little bit back, a little bit forward at the moment.
Well, that makes certain sense, and I certainly remember that night because I talked to you a few times, especially when the market was limit down and looks like he had lost Florida, and then on the spur of the moment, Florida turned around and it started jumping 100 points a time, and it, like you said, it went from 16. I think it went from 18,000 to 29,000 is where it went. I mean, and pretty much of a straight line. So it's going to be very interesting.
If you want a good story, I started my day trading career in October 2000, and I went head straight into the election of 2000, where George Bush was fighting over the ballots in Florida, and I remember how many times I got caught on the wrong side because the market was reacting to a news statement. So I'm bracing myself for the fact that we may not get the election result, and in the meantime, I'm just trying to make a nickel here and a dime here and there, because I don't think there's any clear trend at the moment.
Yeah, remember, 10 dimes make a dollar, Tom. I know you're just barely eking it out over there. Hey, thanks for joining us today, my friend. God bless you, and stay safe and keep doing the great job you're doing. Tom Hugard, folks, Trader Tom.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, Taz understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the Taz Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the Taz Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I posted a chart that Larry Williams gave us, oh my goodness, a couple months ago, and what it was showing here is a long-term weekly cycle here in the gold market, and you'll notice that 1222, that's where the bottom's supposed to come in. That's the 22nd of December, and we're going to see if it gets into that area or not. It's still a long way, from that area. What's interesting here is let's just take a quick look at the gold market, just from a shorter term and longer term. We're going to start out with a longer term. Get this up here. If you have any questions, folks, it's 877-927-6684, and we'll be happy to answer them. But look at the gold market here, going way back to last March when we bottomed on March the 23rd down there at 1460. You see that dark black line right there? All I did now was I cloned that line and I moved it over from low to high, and you'll see how almost it was perfect of the same type of retracement. Now, the one in March was very quick. This one started in August and didn't end until September. So it took a lot longer to make it, and it was a 382 retracement of that whole move. That's very, very bullish. But look what's happened here over the last month, folks. We can't get above the 382 retracement of the high. That's not a very positive sign. And this is up to date. I just did this just a few minutes ago, and we're right at major support here at this 1903 level, because this is not looking very good. It could turn at any minute, and if we get above the 1940 level, folks, that's going to be extremely bullish. But until that happens, who knows? And believe me, with the election coming up here next Tuesday, it's going to be, oh, wait a minute, that's not next Tuesday, it's the 27th. It's 2 weeks away, 10 days away, or 11, 12, whatever days it is. That's going to be interesting because gold had a big move again like we did in 2016. I think that Tom Hugard's advice is to keep your powder dry and wait and see, how the chips fall, and then look to pick them up, because it's going to have some pretty good volatility. I don't think it's going to be fabulous volatility, but I do think it's going to be pretty good, but not anywhere near what people are expecting. So let's take a look at gold here this morning, because we've been very bearish this, and I wanted to get this up to your attention here. You'll see we made that 382 retracement last night up around 923. We then dropped, we went all the way down to 04, so we dropped $20 an ounce. We're now trading at around 1908. What's interesting about that 1904 that we hit this morning is that's an exact 786 off that last move. So if we start going below 1904 this morning, folks, that's going to challenge the 1882. And what we're looking for is whether we're going to get down to that magical number. There's two of them there, one at 1845 an ounce, the other one is at 1810 an ounce, and that's what I'm looking for the new year, or into the election night. I imagine we're going to see some volatility, but they're putting so much insurance on for volatility that it's truly amazing. I don't believe it's going to be. I better shut up because I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I really don't. So let's look at some charts. That I understand, but what's going to happen to this stuff is it's just beyond my pay grade. Every time I try to figure out what's going on, they throw a curveball, so I get a little messed up, and we'll move on to the next one. Yeah, market will fluctuate, absolutely sure. Someone asked me a question by email last night. Did I ever meet any presidents? Yes, I met Ronald Reagan. I actually had dinner with Ronald Reagan. I was in the same restaurant, but it was one of my meetings with Drexel, and he was governor of California, and we were at Chasen's restaurant. No longer exists, but it was a big 5-star restaurant in Los Angeles, and Mr. Reagan was there with his wife Nancy, and then I met him at a cocktail party for when he was running for president. One of my good buddies was his wife was responsible for getting him on the ticket and making him president. They went to all the functions and stuff like that. The other thing that I have been able, one of my bucket list things from many, many years ago was to go into the Oval Office. And I was able to go into the Oval Office back in 1992. My good friend Jay Cross went to school with his very good buddy Trent Lott, who was Speaker of the House. And we were there visiting with a tour of the White House. And Trent Lott met us and walked us right into the Oval Office. There was nobody there. The president was out. And so we got to see it, and then we got to go down and have lunch into the kitchen area where the president usually had his snacks and stuff. So that's about the only time I ever did anything like that. Anyway, that's pretty much what we're looking at. Oh, they've got old restaurants and stuff. Well, David, I'll tell you got more darn stuff in there. He's just posted a thing about old restaurants, and it was good. If you ever saw the movie Pretty Woman, do you remember when the guy flips the snail and catches it? That was at Chasen's restaurant. It was on Wilshire Boulevard, and it was one of the very best. It was expensive. It was $100 a piece back in the 70s. So it was funny. I have one other human interest story about Chasen's, because this was 1976. My girls were 7 and 8, and we decided on a spur of the moment we had to do this thing, and they were 8 years old, and they were in Westlake Village, very, very, and our neighbors were looking after them. So we're going to let you stay home tonight by yourself, 8 and 7. I know we shouldn't have done that, but we did. And I said, if you have any trouble, call me at this restaurant. So we're having dinner with the Drexel people, and the guy brings the telephone over to the table, and he said, you have a phone call. I said, how do you know it's me? He said, I know these other people. It's got to be you. And I said, okay. So I hello, it's Jill. I said, Jill, what's the matter? She says, oh, Dad. She says, we got locked out of the house. I said, well, that's not a problem. I said, go over across the street, and Nancy's got our neighbor. I said, she's got the kid. No, we got in. I said, well, how'd you get in? She said, we threw a chair through the glass window. I said, what glass window? She said, the one on the patio. This is one of these huge, big windows. I said, why didn't you go through the bathroom window? Oh, we didn't think about that. Cost me $700 to get that darn window replaced. But that's how I remember Chasen's that night. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, I think I've stalled about as long as I can. We got some calls coming in. Oh my gosh, Al says the board is lit up like a Christmas tree. Holy moly, hope we'll be able to get them all in. 877-927-6648. If you do have any questions, I covered what I wanted to cover in the gold. Someone's asked a question about the crude oil. I'm still bearish crude oil until crude oil can get above $45 a barrel. I have to remain bearish because it's got so much resistance up there, and I don't believe that it's going to get above there. But folks, we've got this time period here, these next 10 days. It's going to be happening all over the world. You're going to be seeing, some pretty good people taking positions in front of this election and whether they think it's going to, whatever direction they think it's going to go, and that's pretty much it. When we come back, I want to bring up a chart here that Rich Anderson sent me that said he really has a lot of confidence in this chart. I'm going to give Tucker, I'm going to do natural gas. I got it on the list. It's coming up right at the break. Very important in natural gas because we've made some type of a big 3-drive pattern that we talked about yesterday. 877-927-6648. And hopefully the timing of this is going to be right, so you'll be able to see here this fatality per group. We'll talk about it when we get back.
Larry Pesavento watches the markets 24/7, and now is a great time to try out his daily trading service, Fibonacci 24/7. Larry publishes videos and charts for subscribers throughout the week when warranted, and every weekend he puts out a thorough report covering worldwide markets, futures, commodities, and currencies with Fibonacci retracement levels, possible trading setups and zones, and stops and targets for all recommendations included. Larry applies the principles he's developed over decades of trading while analyzing a variety of markets for subscribers. To see for yourself the types of videos, charts, and analysis that Larry provides for his subscribers, sign up for Fibonacci 24/7 today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. You'll also gain instant access to Larry's archived subscriber webinar from earlier this year. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today. If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that we'll even we give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I posted a graph here that Rich Anderson sent showing the death rates among people, and you notice on the far right there, you'll see that for some reason, old people die more frequently than young people. Now, boy, that's pretty interesting, isn't it? Wow. Someone posted that graph could go for anything related to heart attacks or anything else that's going on. So I don't know what's happening, but the disease here in Tucson has really gone way down. Our next door neighbor happens to be a ICU nurse, and she's keeps us alert to what's going on. And they're down to about 10% occupancy here in Tucson now, so it's backed off quite a bit. Let's take a quick look here, folks. Something that we talked about yesterday that started to work, and that is the natural gas. We've got a really interesting picture here. This is the November natural gas contract, folks. That is a 3-drive pattern. You can see there where it says 133. That's basically close to the 1.27 number for trading purposes, of course. But the highs between the high and high drive 1, high drive 2, high drive 3, they are equal. So that's a very important time. That leads to another question that someone asked: what was my favorite pattern of all? And I have to admit, folks, it's a 3-drive pattern. Both 3-drive to a top and 3-drive to a bottom. The reason for it is you know exactly where you are with your risk. I mean, it is, well, you know the same thing in the other patterns too, but with this one, it really highlights itself as being a really important one, because you can see these numbers, and especially when you're at the 1.618 level, because once you go past 1.618, from my perspective, because I only use 2 expansion numbers, 127 and 1.618, when we go beyond 1.618, that's telling me I have no idea what the heck I'm doing, and I've got to get out of that. So that's the main reason to look at it. But the 3-drive pattern is something that I like, and the butterflies are very good too. I like those also. But the 3-drive, Zia, there, I have to answer the question, and I think that's one of my. But you don't see them very often because you're not making highs and lows too often, but that's what I like. I might like all of them, but my first choice, they asked me what my first choice would be the 3-drive pattern, because you've got so much going for you. You got the double ABCDs, you got the expansions of 1.618, 127, and you know exactly if you get above 1.618, there's probably something seriously wrong with your analysis. You got to get out of the way. And that's what I'm looking at. We have one of those going on in wheat right now. Let me see if I can be quick enough to do this. And someone asked me something else about, they asked me about the natural gas. So if you have any questions you want to call in, that's fine, or you can just put in there and we'll be able to see that. Okay. Let's just get up here for just a second here, and I've got to get into the section where I can pull up a chart so we can take a quick look here at this wheat, because I believe that's what we were looking at the other day, and I think, let's just make sure I don't miss anything and get it up here. Yeah, we were very, very close to that. Just give me a second here, and we'll get it up here really pretty easily. Not quite there yet, but we're getting there, and I'll get this up here so you folks can take a quick look at it, because we are getting very, very close to it. There's drive 1, drive 2, and drive 3 will probably be up in this area here somewhere, but let's get it up here so we can see it just a little bit better. Hold on one second here, and I'll get this chart put up. Okay. All right, now there's where we are right now. We're down a couple cents here in the wheat today, so it's really not too much, but that's pretty close to it. It's not clearly not a perfect ABCD by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still it's still a pretty good one, and that it's good enough to trade. But it's not as easy as the natural gas one. Is much easier because it is so perfectly symmetrical. I mean, like Twentyman says, defy human nature, do the work yourself. By the way, I try to bring in guests here to, make it really interesting here to see what's going on. And folks, I tried to get Twentyman on. I talk to him 2 or 3 times a week. And I said, Jimmy, how about coming on and, chatting with everybody and stuff? He said, Larry, it's a waste of time. And I said, well, you ain't got nothing else to do, for crying out loud. And I said, you're living over there in Morro Bay, you can't get out of the house. He said, I'm out of the house all the time. He said, I ride my bike every day. And but he said he just didn't want to do it. He said, and the reason is, tell the folks that defy human nature, do the work yourself. And that is absolutely correct. And the only way you're going to figure these markets out is to learn, and I'm not saying anything against any other system that you have, but I'm a pattern recognition swing trader. So if you're doing pattern recognition swing trader, you got to do 2 things. 1, you got to be ready to swing, and 2, you got to understand what these patterns are trying to tell you. And I'm looking at about 10 or 12 patterns. And you have to study those very, very closely, just like studying in that. Look at this gold chart that I posted earlier, folks. Just get it up here. This doesn't take rocket science. Here, look, this is a daily chart in gold, okay? And this is true on a half hour, 4 hour, 5 minute, doesn't make any difference. These patterns repeat over and over again. Look at the bottom at the 382 down there at 1857. And what did it do? It went from 1857. It rallied $90 to go up to. We hit 41 last week. I think 41 or 42. Again, right at a 382 level. It's taken a month, 1 solid month, for the thing to rally $90. I mean, that's not the sign of a really bull market that's coming off of a 382 from the low way back in March that was an equal low. So you're seeing those same things. You can see the big thunderbolt there, the ABCD that measured to 2064. The high was 2092. And didn't stay there very long. So, that's what you've got to do. You've got to look at these patterns and make them your friend. Because once you can see these things, and you will be able to do it, if you look at the charts long enough and study them long enough, you're going to be able to see it yourself. Folks, that's how I got started being, by myself as a trader. I knew in I made a lot of money during 76 to 82 at Drexel, but that was mainly because of gold and silver. Well, I had a few other things too, and bonds. But we had no stock indices until that was in April of 82 when I was on the floor. But I knew back then, in 78 and 79, I would be able to make a really consistent living at that. And that's what I always wanted to do. I never worried about about being, super mega rich like some people worry about, because I leave a relatively modest life. I'm down to 3 Ferraris now, so it makes it easy. We've got a question from Ruby to take a look at Sugar the Sweet, and since she's one of our chosen people here, we'll get it up here so we can take a quick look at Sugar the Sweet for her. If I can find the doggone thing, and I'm pretty sure I can. There it is. Let's just get this up here and take a quick look at it. And wow, it's smoking again. This is good. Well, hey, we're up here at the 786. Ruby, better be careful here. 1 sec, 877-927-6648.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The Bull Bear Trading Hour with Tom and Tommy O'Brien. Next.
Okay, we're back, folks. I posted the chart for sugar, the daily and the long-term weekly. And look at that weekly chart, folks. This was right directly out of the 24/7 charts that we sent 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I always laugh when I hear about that. Anyway, that's the weekly chart. You notice we closed right at the 78% level on Friday, and then we had the explosive move here. That tells you that it wants to go a lot higher, and you're seeing it again here. This market is accelerating, to the upside, which you can see by looking at it. Going back a couple months ago, the beautiful 3-drive to a bottom pattern that was there. There's a perfect example of the type of a 3-drive pattern that you like to see. So there's just a few examples of it. Now we've been asked to take a look at the old moo cows. They've been doing something pretty nicely. This is something that we focused in the newsletter. All I did was take this right out of the, updated it from what we were looking at, folks, and cattle are coming right down here. If the cattle get down to this 102.50 level, that's down about 2 handles from where we are right now. That'll be a pretty good buy, but I wouldn't buy them until they got to that 102 area in the Christmas cattle. Just be careful, Ruby. I don't know where they're trading at. The low is 103.85, and but the number you want to watch is at 102.50 is what I would be watching. So just be careful. I mean, you can trade anything you want, buy anything you want. All you have to do is make sure you put a stop in. I get emails every single day from people saying, can I buy it here? And the answer is buy it or sell it, wherever you want to do. But for heaven's sakes, protect yourself. Because if you don't, you're telling Mother Nelson, you're telling him that it's not it. Mr. Z, Denholm Elliott was his real name. That was Coleman's real name in trading places. I met quite a few of the people in that movie, but he was one. And then, of course, if you remember, the Paul Gleason was Deeks, Clarence. Was it Clarence Deeks? Yeah. that was Paul Gleason, and Paul Gleason was he was very, very popular guy, had a lot of friends. Okay, let's move on to some of the things that we might want to talk about here. The stock market right now, let's just double check, just get a quick bird's eye view of what we've got going on. We got a little bit of a rally. We got up to 11,700 in the Dow, the Nasdaq. We're trading at 34.37 in the S&P, still holding on pretty good. The market that's having really difficulty, folks, and you've got to pay close attention to it, is this one right here. Let's just get this up here and just show you what's going on here in the bond market. This thing is falling like a scalded knife to the downside. We're breaking through, major support here, which is really quite different. Oh, my limit minders just went off in Tesla. I don't know what that means. So give me 1 second, folks. I'm doing this for someone else that trades Tesla, and unfortunately, I don't watch it very much. But we only gapped up about 20-some points. So that is okay. This is good. Thank you very much. Stay with me, boys and girls. I got to turn off these limit minders to make sure that these things are going to be working, but we want to watch it. Okay, that's a beauty. All right. Okay, we're trading at 443 in the Tesla. The 618 on this is around 446. So keep a close eye on that, and then you'll have a pretty good idea of what we're looking at in some of these other things. But let's get back to these Treasury bonds. I want to put the daily up here because you're going to see a 3-drive pattern here. In the daily that you'll be able to. That's not nearly as clear. Let's do this because this is basically a butterfly pattern. It's not a 3-drive. Oh boy, it's tough to do this one, but we'll do it anyway because these charts are not always as easy as you'd like to see. Here's the Treasury bond. It's not a 3-drive pattern, folks. But, you could count it as what, because you did take the lows on October 5th. You took the lows out of August the 24th. So that is drive 1 there. Drive 2 is October 5th. But there's no symmetry there. If you look at a 3-drive pattern, either a top or bottom, and you have to ask yourself the question whether it isn't. It's got to jump out at you just like you're looking at 3 mountaintops or 3 peaks or 3 troughs. They've got to be very, very symmetrical. Days up, days down. That's why you study these patterns. And when you do that, then you can say that. But this isn't nothing more than that. All you're looking at right here is a market. Right here, we're trading at 1724. The low we made yesterday was at 72.17. So if we go below 72.17, we're probably going to go all the way down to 71.19. And that's just a 1.27 expansion ABCD, but not a 3-drive. A 3-drive, you literally have to be able to just jumps out you. And the secret is ask the question. If you have to ask yourself the question, is it a 3-drive? It isn't. That's that simple. End of story. And I'll stick to those rules. And by golly, it's got to be real easy. And, your AB leg and your CD leg got to be equal. The relationship's got to be at 127 or 1.618. And when you have that, then you've got some symmetry. But on this Treasury bond thing, you do not have any symmetry at all. You've got an ABCD forming, but you do not have a 3-drive pattern at all. So I hope that helps, with that. So, that's neither here nor there. I don't know, but we'll see. All I know is the chances for negative interest rates are getting less and less, but probably after the election and they start spending money like crazy again in the trillions of dollars, they'll be printing more and more money. So that'll mean that rates will probably go down to 0 or who knows. But that's what's going on. We still have negative rates in quite a few countries, so they still believe that baloney. But to me, that's the biggest crock of baloney that I've ever heard in all of my years of doing this. And I'm in my, 7th decade of doing this. I started in 59, so the 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 10, 20. This is my 7th decade of doing this kind of stuff. So, and that is the silliest thing I've ever heard in all the years of doing this, is the fact that the people believe that negative interest rates is a feasible thing, but they've also tried to feed us other stuff that we believe too. So we'll do one thing at a time. Now, all we've done so far this morning here in the Nasdaq and the S&P is just make a nice retracement. We just made a very small 61% retracement, lower tops all the way through here. This is a 15-minute chart here. In the, let's just blow it up so you can see it just a little bit better. There you go. And you'll see here that we're still in a pretty strong downtrend here. In the NASDAQ, the high we just hit now, just 11,720, perfect 61% retracement off of yesterday's high to the exact tick. And so you know exactly where you stand there. Above 11,200, you most probably have a positive bias. But we've been here for basically 3 days. Well, let's see, this is the fourth day, 19, 20, 21st, 22nd. Yeah, this is the fourth day we've been down here at 11,600, trading right now at 11,670. We go below 11,600. That sets up a possible breakout to the downside. But then again, folks, remember what I said, and this is my 2 cents worth. If you look at this on a longer term basis, and we'll just get this up here so you can look at it. This is not a super bearish chart. 877-927-6648.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Bam! If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're watching these markets jump around quite a bit. The key numbers to watch, folks, are 3392 on the E-mini S&P and 11,600 in the NASDAQ. Going below those levels would trigger some more to the downside. But like I mentioned earlier, this longer-term chart in the S&P and also in the NASDAQ, they don't look that bearish. I mean, we're in a big Gartley pattern, of course, in the NASDAQ. Because that's been actually turned weaker than the rest of the market. But the S&P still looks relatively bullish. And with the election coming up, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot changing until November the 3rd. And then we'll see if the flood gates open up and we'll get strong trend direction in one or the other. But every time we get down to key levels of support in these things, they hold, and that's it. Hey, folks, I still believe that we live in the greatest country in the world. Doesn't make any difference who gets elected. I've been through a whole bunch of presidents in my life, and not much has changed through all of it. But all I know is whenever I travel, and I haven't traveled since January 1st of last year, is whenever I came into the country and I look up at that board and it says, "Welcome to the United States of America," I get goosebumps. I mean, I just really do, because we do live in a great country. Got a lot of problems, but hell, everybody else got problems too. That's what you got to do, is find somebody to solve them, and that's the whole key to what we're looking at here. We got the gold trading here at 1906. I still think we've got to be really patient here, folks, because I do believe we got a chance to get the gold down to 1810. That's the magic number that I'm looking at. That's a 61% retracement of the whole year's range. It's not very far away. It's only $100. And, if you're moving $30, $40 a day, that's just a couple days action to get you down there. So keep your pencils sharpened. I'll be sending these videos out every day like I've been doing, and, trying to show the support and resistance levels that work most of the time, but not all the time. That's what stop loss orders are for, us to move on to the next one. That's the key. So remember, folks, live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.